I am so happy that you're able to join us for this extended interview. Make sure to visit theoffbeatlife.com. Again, that's theoffbeatlife.com to get more killer resources. Hey friend, are you looking to land a remote gig ASAP? Well, did you know that we not only have a ton of online jobs you can apply to on our site, but now we're also sending them straight to your inbox. I'm happy to announce that we will be sending our email subscribers legit online jobs every Wednesday. We have done hours of research so you don't have to. If you want to be the first one to hear about the remote gigs we find, go to theoffbeatlife.com to subscribe. Hey everyone, thank you so much for coming back. I'm super excited to be speaking with Natalie again. Natalie is going to be talking to us on how to create a sales funnel that will get you a ton more clients and create more income for your business. Hey Natalie, how are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. Before we get to your amazing tips and tricks, can you tell us a little bit more about you and why you live an offbeat life?
Because there's no other life to live. I just think that, my story in short is that I've always chased having more freedom in my life. And I was in the corporate world for about, 8 or 9 years. And I kept quitting jobs and going traveling. And then one day realized maybe I'm just not meant to be in the corporate world. I get bored really quickly. I wanted to be working on other things. So I finally started my own business in 2009 when I was in Canada and co-founded a tech startup. And from there started blogging about that tech startup and being an entrepreneur for the first time in my life and the wild roller coaster ride that it is and always will be. And that blog today has been my entire business. I built off the back of that with books and speaking and courses and products. And for 10 years, it served me amazingly well. It's a super successful business. And I just get to, like you, create content and offers and serve people all the time. And it's just like a real joy.
I know Natalie is like my, person, like she's my ideal of a business woman. I'm like, I want to be Natalie like someday. So she has so many tips for us. And if you guys want, you have to go to her initial interview where she shares so many other tips for us. But today she's going to be talking about sales funnels. So Natalie, I hear a lot of people talk about this, but there's very few people who actually do it successfully. So can you first of all tell us what a sales funnel is?
Yeah, I really like to think of it as a customer journey. So the journey that you want the person who visits your website or your platform to go on to grow with you. That's it at the heart of it, I think. So it's showing them when they first come and find out about you, how do you take them on a journey with you to meet them where they're at and show them what you have to offer that's going to help them get from A to B. So that's pretty much how I view it. And it really starts with looking at, literally, I think it's called a funnel, because if you think about a cone-shaped funnel, when you first start pouring water in, for example, it might splash all over the place, but eventually it'll come out down the bottom, just filtered out the perfect drop, the perfect amount into your glass, for example. And a funnel is similar in that you might have all these people coming in at the top from social media, from interviews, from places they've seen you, from events that you've been to, from advertising, from content, from social, and they all come in at the top. And slowly but surely, as they come through your funnel, you will weed out the people who are just not the right fit for you, who aren't your ideal customers. And the people who stick with you right down to the bottom of the funnel and drip in, they're the ones who are like your raving fans, who totally love what you do and totally need what you have. And as they go through that journey, they're kind of going from, I would say, more initial offerings right through to your high-priced offerings, your masterminds, your workshops, the big things that people are prepared to invest more in. And the funnel is the thing that gets the right people to the right place.
Now, can you tell us the first steps to creating the ideal funnel that will land you those ideal clients?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I feel like it requires some good looking at your business, but you can also start out simply. I love drawing them out. If you have a whiteboard, a piece of paper, an iPad, and there's also some pretty cool software out there like Funnelytics.io, where they actually have ready-made common sales funnels, because not to overwhelm people, but there are funnels for your simple opt-in through to your product, through to another product. There are funnels for webinars. There are funnels for workshops. At the end of the day, they all start to look quite similar. And if you draw it out, I like to draw it as a series of boxes with arrows that lead to the next step. And the best way to do it is actually reverse engineer. So let's say you have an online course and you would want people to buy that course. So then you work backwards from what do they need to have done before they get to your course landing page? And before that, what do they need to have done to opt into your list? And before that, where did you need to meet them? Like where did they first come across you? So working backwards from the result that you want, you can start to plan out your funnel. And that may look like, okay, I have a post on my favorite social media platform where I have a cool little community or a big community. And that post is to a blog post that explains, for example, the 3 best platforms to build a course on. So people will come across to that blog post. They'll really hopefully like what you've written because you've gone in depth and done a review on the right type of course platforms that you can use. And on that page, there'll be a, hey, opt in to get this as a PDF ebook so you can always take it with you, or opt in to come to, you'll get a template on how to create a course in 7 days, or come to a webinar. So whatever that opt in is, where you're getting their email and you know right now they're a qualified targeted person because they're interested in courses and creating courses. And then they opt in and they'll get a series of email responses that take them on a journey once again and share with them. You might be feeling this, you might be confused or overwhelmed, you might be overloaded, you might be wondering how to get your thoughts into a course and then how to sell it. So you take them on an email journey, educating them and sharing. And throughout that email journey, you might also put in your offer. So it's, without going to too much depth, it's kind of educate, put an offer, educate, put an offer, educate, put an offer. You can go on and on and on. And that offer may be a very small priced item. It might be a $49 course that teaches them how to get your course set up in a week, for example. So now those people have come through that mini course. It's not too much from an investment point of view. They loved working with you. It took them about 7 days. And now they're like, what next? I really love Debbie's ideas on this. What do I do next? And then you have another email series and you say, well, actually, I'm about to start a 6-week program that will teach you how to sell and promote your course over this time. And by that stage, they're already ready for that because they've gone through the basics. They're still left with questions. They still don't know all the steps because it takes a lot to launch a course. And now you're offering them a higher price product, maybe $200 or $400, depending on the value. And it's 6 weeks, and they now get to join you on that. And from there, you might have another offer. It might be a year-long membership where you're constantly talking about how to launch and sell your course. So that's just off the top of my head an example of what a funnel looks like. So there's always an upgrade and there's always the next step for them to learn and grow from you, and you're always able to put it in front of them because they've already indicated that they're interested. Was that like too much? Were people visualizing along with me?
Well, there's definitely a lot of amazing information that you gave to us. And obviously, we all have to go through this and see it in person as well. But that was a great place to start. Do you have any place that you usually go to, or maybe can take our audience so that they can look at some resources that will help them further?
That's so hilarious because I don't actually have an up-to-date sales funnel post or vlog. That thank you for showing the holes in my sales funnel. No, I mean, honestly, right now, if they come across to nataliesisson.com/offbeat life, the best opt-in, and they can probably see it in my funnel, would be to grab my Get Paid to Be You audio and workbook, because they'll actually be able to see a bit of a funnel in action. Like you get the workbook and audio delivered to you, and then I send a series of really helpful, valuable educational emails where I share content or blog posts or tips and even podcasts and vlogs over the space of a couple of weeks that will help them to consider how they can get paid to be them. And then off the back of that, there is a mini course, upsell into if they want to take it further and go deeper. So that's a neat example. And from there, depending on where they get to in their foundations, there's options for them to work with me further, depending on what they need. So I don't have an actual specific resource, but thank you for sharing that, because it's been top of mind to actually create a couple of vlogs around the tool I was mentioning, Funnelytics, but also just like how to build out a sales funnel. I used to have a book, an ebook, and it was all about sales funnel, but I incorporated it into one of my courses. So I need to actually bring that back. Thank you for reminding me. I'm taking notes right now.
I'm glad. We can help a little bit. Thank you so much, Natalie. And we'll definitely take a look at the sales funnel that you made for us. So that's a great way to learn, actually, to be able to do this. And I love actually signing up for people's email list to see how they do it personally, especially if it's people that you really love and you love their content and you see how they can go in action and, see how they're doing it so successfully. And that's, this is a great way for Natalie to share all of her tools and tips and tricks as well a little further with us. So thank you for that, Natalie.
You're welcome. I'm really glad you mentioned that, because that is something that I do all the time. I'm constantly looking at how people have their funnels set up. And my only caveat with that would be is make sure you're using it for that purpose, to look at what they did well, look at maybe which point you clicked through, maybe you even bought from them, or look at which point you got turned off maybe, or you opted out. So I just think it's a really, really good process. I keep a little folder in my email inbox and I call it Launch Experts, and I file away ones that I think are really good, like ones that held me right to the end of the offer and beyond, because they're doing something right. And usually it's they've really understood their audience, they really know the journey you're on, and they know what you're needing at this point. So it's really relevant to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And, there's a ton of those amazing experts out there that can really be a great place for you to start your journey if you're super confused right now.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Natalie. If our listeners want to know more about you, where can they find you?
I would love for them to come and say hi on Instagram at Natalie Sisson. I'm pretty much at Natalie Sisson everywhere. But if they've also enjoyed our podcast interview, I'd love for them to come across and listen to the Untapped podcast, where we talk about tapping into your potential and getting paid to be you. And it's on all the good podcast outlets.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Natalie. We really appreciate all the tips that you shared with us today.
Thank you so much. It's been a blast.
I hope you enjoyed this extended interview with Natalie. Make sure to visit theoffbeatlife.com. Again, that's theoffbeatlife.com to get the full interview, where she shares how she was able to leave the grind of corporate world in order to build an online business. Hey friend, have you been wanting to start a podcast? I know it can be overwhelming in the beginning. Believe me, I have been there. Lucky for you, we have created a new site called howtocreateapodcast.com that shares a ton of freebies that can help you get started. From launching, growing to monetizing, we share it all in one place. Visit howtocreateapodcast.com for more information. Thanks for joining me on this extended interview. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review on iTunes. We can also chat some more on Facebook at The OB Life. I'll talk to you soon.